because you're the main one who has gone to war with the whole chat. You're going to war with the whole internet. Right, and I've been right next to you when you're the one saying that in that year when Steph got unanimous MVP, that you made arguments for Kawhi Leonard, and so now for you to sit here and be zip-lipped, acting like you aren't an advocate for those years of Kawhi Leonard, pretending and saying like Kawhi Leonard doesn't deserve to be in these conversations, not having Kawhi's back, letting Morris yap over Penn, letting Swiper jump in and muddy up the waters, when you agree with us that Kawhi Leonard absolutely belong to those conversations, and you never once brought up Kevin Durant. It was Steph Curry, and you bring up Kawhi Leonard, but now you want to try to jump over on this side, Chill. I never thought you was a fence jumper. This is ridiculous.
So shout out to Steph. It's time to take a back seat to the better player, just like the old times. Kawhi is greater than Steph. Kawhi to Golden State? Or is he just saying Kawhi is better than Steph?
And Kawhi is better than Steph.
I think this year Kawhi has been, but I don't think he's a bad player than Steph. Like not that best.
I'm personally with Steph.
This isn't the first year Kawhi's been better than Steph, but I don't understand what that's got to do with anything.
Yeah, 2020 Steph was hot.
2016.
Yeah, okay.
2019 was Leonard better than Curry?
Not to me, but to most people.
I'll tell you, he was when it mattered.
I'm talking about from wire to wire. Opening night.
No, not to me, but
opening night.
Opening night. I was considered the best in the world after that year. I remember.
Yes, he was.
I didn't even have him close to the best in the world, but different people. But yeah, so 2019 and 2020 for most people, and then this year I would say Kawhi's played better, but that's not a big gap. I think.
Who got more Finals MVPs?
Kawhi.
He does.
Just check. Just one.
Crazy because it's funny because Steph plays better in the finals than Kawhi, but Kawhi has more Finals MVPs. So that's funny.
Yeah, he does.
All right, the next super chat is from It's Mr. G.
Wait, Ron, stay right there for a second. Ox, do you fight that? Do you remember Kawhi Leonard in 2014 in the finals?
I don't want to.
You remember him?
He was good. He was good.
He wasn't awesome in the finals. He wasn't. Curry was awesome in the finals in 17.
Curry shouldn't even have the Finals MVP that he does have.
What?
Why not?
But that's fine. No. Even if he should,
I was young, man.
We're not talking about whether or not they have the accolade. Because Mr. Ox, we know we're not talking about accolade. Right. Steph played well in 2017, didn't win Finals MVP. Steph played well in 15, didn't win Finals MVP. If Kawhi played just as well as in 14 and they gave the Finals MVP to Tony Parker, that doesn't change how Kawhi played. So we don't need to do all that nonsense and say, Kawhi Steph shouldn't even have the Finals MVP.
Not awesome.
Well, I'm saying, no, that's the conversation. It's not
even if Steph should have no Finals MVPs, that doesn't change that he still plays better in the finals than Kawhi. Kawhi's been to the finals twice. In 14, he was great. Fantastic role player series. Golf clap. Good work.
We're
talking
about finals. No, because I'm not gonna let you. I'm not gonna let you do what Chill let you do to him yesterday. You can't just ramble, Mars. We got to go point per point. We got to go point by point. You can't just ramble for 15 minutes so the chat thinks you're cooking, Mars. You got to go point for point,
Steph was better in the finals in 2014 Kawhi.
2019
Steph was better in the finals in 2014 Kawhi. 2022 Steph was better in the finals in 2014 Kawhi. So Kawhi's second best final series, Steph has 5 series better than that. Kawhi's best final series in 2019, Steph, in my opinion, was undoubtedly better in 22 than Kawhi was in the 2019 finals. There's really no argument that Kawhi.
What are you talking about?
When someone's been to the finals 6 times and another guy's been to the finals twice, and if you ranked all of those series in chronological order, Kawhi would have at least the 5th. He's been twice. Oh no, 20. Oh, we want to go 2013.
Well, I'm just
makes it even worse.
I'm just saying.
If you want to rank the final series, the bottom 3 in terms of performance level alone are going to be Steph in 2016, Kawhi in 13, and Kawhi in 14. Those are the 3 worst. Now, the order, decide it how you want. You know what? We'll say Steph 2016 is last because he was actually someone with expectations to perform. Meanwhile, Kawhi role player, Kawhi cool. Golf clap. So we'll say 2016 was worse. 2013 was the second
2019
worst.
was better than all of those.
That's amazing. Congratulations. Golf clap. So we can say 2016.
It's not a golf clap.
2016 was the worst.
We gonna clap
golf
big on
clap.
You can
we gonna big clap on that. We're not gonna
we'll say
golf
we'll
clap
say
nothing.
2016 was the worst. We'll say 2016 was the worst because he had expectations being a unanimous MVP. Then we'll say 2013 was the second worst.
No, don't do the expectation
2014
things. If it wasn't worse, it wasn't worse. Damn the expectations, boys. Damn the expectations.
We'll say he's worse because I can't bother to debate 2013 Kawhi. So 2016 was worse. Then 2013, then 2014. That should pretty much be the unanimous bottom three in terms of finals performances. Then we get the top 5 performances. So then we realize it's going to be one Kawhi series in 2019. You know what? Even for the sake of argument, we'll say for some reason that's the best one. Cool. Steph has second, third, fourth, and fifth.
For some reason, Mars, don't do that.
Yeah, for some reason. I'm not even convinced that Kawhi in 2019 played better in the finals than Steph in 2019.
Kawhi was hurt. Kawhi was hurt in 2019.
I'm not even convinced that Kawhi was better in that series than Steph was.
And he was still great. Now, I just want to say something.
Wait. Hold on, Pin. Let's let Mars get through this so we can move on because I told Chill already. I ain't want to do this.
Finals
Can I say
was
one
better than
sentence?
Steph in the 2019 finals. But I mean, cool. Shout out to Kawhi.
Can I get one sentence off? And I promise you're not going to golf clap this one.
19 was better than Steph.
You will not name one single from start to finish playoff run in Steph's career than 2019 Kawhi. Not one. That's great. Not close. Not ever.
We're just talking about just final series.
And it ain't gonna happen.
So once again,
and that's a fact, Pin. But that's
saying a relevant statement
in the playoffs.
How is that an irrelevant statement?
I'm talking about finals and you talking about playoff runs. So go clap.
And hold on before we go to the quick golf clapping. This ain't golf. This basketball.
No. You said I'm not gonna golf clap, and I had very much reason to golf clap. You just saying stuff to say stuff. You're not gonna name one regular season Kawhi has better than 2016 Steph. Golf clap. We just saying stuff to say stuff now.
Yeah, I can actually.
What's that got to do with a statement? Finals performance. That was the conversation. And you want to bring up the first 3 rounds that means something.
No, I brought up finals MVPs as a joke. You decided to spiral it into a 10-minute segment where you golf clapping a lot.
It's been about 5.5 minutes. But sure.
I mean, whatever. It felt like 10. You could take that as an insult if you want. All I'm saying is you disrespecting Kawhi for no apparent reason whatsoever.
I disrespect Kawhi. I said Steph better finals performance.
And by the way, Kawhi Leonard has never been in his prime, not the best player on his team.
What does that got to do with this conversation?
Wait, hold on.
It has a lot to do
with Has Kawhi Leonard ever played with the caliber of player of KD?
No.
Okay. So Paul George would be the closest approximation that we could have got.
Kawhi, Kevin Durant's been better than Kawhi every day of his life, by the way.
Every day of his life?
Since Kevin Durant was born, Kevin Durant has been
better today. You just lied.
Yeah, I said other than today, other than now. Yeah, I said other than now, Kevin Durant has been better at basketball than Kawhi Leonard every day of their lives. This year is the first year of Kawhi's life.
That's factually incorrect. Okay. That's factually incorrect. And I already cooked Dale on this topic many a times. We could just move on.
Oh, you cooked Dale? Go play.
Multiple times on this topic.
It's very well documented. So KD was born in what? 88? Kawhi was born in what? 90 maybe? 91. So we got Kevin Durant before Kawhi existed. 2-year-old KD. Give me KD. Then we're gonna go all the way through that basketball evolution. But all the way through that basketball evolution, high school KD clears, college KD clears. When KD's in the NBA and Kawhi's in high school, KD clears. We get to 2014 when Kawhi's winning Finals MVP. Golf clap. Kevin Durant's actually the second best player in the world, so golf clap to KD. Better player still. Then we get to Kawhi's prime. He enters his prime in 2016. Kevin Durant's just a top 3 player in the world. Kawhi's not. So shout again. Then we get to Golden State. Shout out to Kawhi. 2017 Kawhi, really great season. Kevin Durant's still a better player. Then we get to 2019. It's actually funny people consider Kawhi the best player in the world when KD once again was better than Kawhi that year as well. But shout out to KD, he got hurt. Golf clap for Kawhi, staying healthy. He wasn't healthy, but shout out to him. He was able to finish the series. Golf clap. Even though we saw KD for 11 minutes in that series be the best player on the floor. And then we get to 2020. Kawhi, actually, KD don't play. 2010 Kawhi. Wait, hold on.
Yes. No, hold on, Marcy. This is
that's all it takes. Kawhi can be better than KD when KD can't run.
The same thing you just said. Hold on. The same thing you just said about 19 is the same thing that happened in 17. Just the opposite way. The whole every minute of the game, you said in 19. Every minute of that series, you said KD was better than Kawhi.
Yeah, but KD was better the whole year. I just brought up every minute of
that. That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. Every minute of, and it wasn't just that. That whole entire season, Kawhi was cooking. You can't just make a statement.
Amazing.
You can't just make a statement. You can't just make a statement and then just assume that it's going to be true because you said it. Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Yes, Kawhi. Yeah, this is the same.
Well, this is the same. Yes, I believe that.
I believe better than Jokic. Well, okay,
that has nothing to do with this conversation. I'm talking about Kawhi and I'm talking about KD. You can't just throw shit off like that, Mars, and think that's gonna work.
Yeah,
he absolutely was not better. And hold on, Pin. In every single minute of that series, he was killing KD. Just like every single minute of the 23 series, he was killing KD. When they match up, it's just not what you think it is, or what you're trying to convince the people it is with your little golf claps. It's not. That doesn't make it true.
Is matchups who determine who the bad player is? Just in your opinion?
I think absolutely. I think when you match. Wait, hold on.
He would never ask you that question.
No, what I'm saying is when you try to bring up who was better every minute of this series, just make sure you do the same thing for 17. That's all I'm saying.
Oh no, sure, yeah. Kawhi was going crazy in 2017. We know it was all
the whole season. He was going crazy in 2017.
Exactly. He was actually top
the
3
whole
MVP.
Season.
He was top 3
as he should.
Yeah, Kawhi was amazing, no doubt. This was Kawhi in 2017. That's when he elevates the top 5 player status. Okay, it's crazy because KD been there since 2010, but it's cool. Like people develop at different rates. It is what it is. So we get to 2019.
Let's get to 21 too. Let's get to 21.
Oh, we get to 20. We can get to 21. The peak of Kawhi's playoff performance. You'll never guess who was playing better than him. That guy in Brooklyn.
I thought he was talking about the whole series. The whole season. Kawhi was better. Kawhi was the better player that whole season.
Guess what? Yeah, it's because KD only played 35 games. Shout out to KD. But when he was available, he was better than Kawhi. Because that's what he does. When Kevin Durant plays basketball, he plays it better than Kawhi Leonard.
And then last year, every minute Kawhi was available, he was better than KD too.
Oh, yeah. You know what? After Kawhi missed the first half of the season and then came back and then he was rusty for a little bit and then he's ramped up towards the end. You know what? That Kawhi conversation. You know what I'll say? For the last calendar year. Yeah, I'll say for the last calendar year. That's the
don't patronize me and try to talk all condescending like you don't believe.
That's not condescending. I just gave.
Then don't
for the last calendar year.
I'm just telling you what's going on.
For the last calendar year. So we're in what? February 5th, 2026.
23, 20, no, go for 23. I'm going further.
Yo, you can do what you want to do. You can do what you want.
Did he play in 23? Oh, 22
for me,
yeah, he played.
The last calendar year is the first time in Kawhi's life he's been better than Kevin Durant.
Yeah, 2022.
That's fine.
2022, 2023, Kevin Durant. That 47 game sample size. He's the first player.
Oh, when he was 55, 49?
Yeah, but he was the first player ever to average 28 or more on 50, 40, 80.
22. That's the year Kawhi wasn't there.
Kawhi's just not been at that level.
Yeah, that was
in 22. That was
well, no, but then he played in the playoff versus the Suns that year. But remember, he got hurt. Lower body.
Yeah, Kawhi got hurt
in 23.
In 23, right?
That was in 23.
But Kawhi was playing really well in that series.
That first game and a half, Kawhi was.
Yeah, and I'm not going to tax Kawhi for being hurt. I'm not saying KD's better than Kawhi because Kawhi gets hurt. I'm never going to do that. I give people the understanding of injuries, and if Kawhi's playing at an elite level and gets hurt, that's just unfortunate. And Kawhi, we know what he deals with. Kevin Durant's been a better player than him. That's been my statement. It's not about injuries. It's not about who's been available, whatnot. We'll give Kawhi the year that Kevin Durant missed with a torn Achilles. He was better by default. He was actually playing. Kevin Durant didn't play. But when they've both been healthy and they've both been available and they both play basketball, the last calendar year is the first time in Kawhi's life he's been better than Kevin Durant.
Yeah, you could believe that nonsense if you want to.
Absolutely, I will believe that nonsense.
In 2019, when Kawhi Leonard had a chance to take an easy way out and go to the Lakers, when they were pursuing him and asking him to come, and they were saying,
"Don't do this.
Stop. Let him go.
And he had a chance to join LeBron James, and Anthony Davis, and instead he said, "I'm not joining him. I am him."
Okay, let me clarify. Let me clarify for that. Just after, let Penn finish this, Mars, and I'll follow up.
So I just want everyone to remember the history of those events. Kawhi Leonard actually wasn't going to join the Clippers unless they got him his superstar teammate.
Yeah.
By the way,
which is fine. I'm not once again. You know, I don't. Penn brought us here.
Why is it very important to mention that, you?
I'm not going to dabble in.
Go there. Otherwise,
he didn't go play with Steph Curry.
He brought it here, so I'm just gonna say the Paul George that Kawhi Leonard got to team up with him. On
nigga didn't go to a 73 win basketball team.
Top 10 player on the planet at the time, and one of the best wing defenders.
He wasn't the best player candidate.
Yeah,
that's fine. That's fine.
What does that got to do with this conversation? By the way,
when Kawhi Leonard decided to go to the
only reason he didn't go to the Lakers was because
he didn't choose the easy ring.
No. The only reason he did not go to the Lakers, and this is now confirmed, is because of the thing that he asked for. The things that he asked for that the Lakers were not willing to give him, that he got from the Clippers, that the Raptors were not willing to give him. That he got from
Pablo, an investigative reporter.
That's a part of the conversation.
Yes.
This is, by the way, this is common knowledge
around
the league. This is common knowledge around the league. So, Pin,
I'm not
that's cool. I've been quiet. During this whole spiel.
I know we was talking about gossip bloggers.
He was never going to go to the Lakers.
Go ahead, Swiper. Proceed, Swiper.
All I'm saying is that is actually incorrect. It's not that he chose the easy way. It's that he chose the way that got him paid and got more incentives from the Clippers than he would have.
So now you don't want to see a young brother get paid
from the Clippers.
Now you don't want to
see
a brother get money.
To Mars's point,
that is what it's saying.
Also adding Paul George
y'all don't want to see a young brother get money
and trading away SGA and all the assets to add to the Clippers. That was a part of the deal. So either way, Kawhi Leonard got one of the best packages that you could have gotten by getting a top 3 MVP finisher in Paul George.
What did he do, baby?
Also getting the other situation. You're being very disrespectful.
I don't care.
You're very disrespectful because you're being very protective of Kawhi.
What you gonna do about it?
This would be a great time to golf club. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm sorry.
Anyway,
he was never going.
What I was saying is the issue. You don't know what you're talking about. The issue with this is that in the situation we're in,
he's the reason why.
The things that Arts is saying and that Penn is saying is that they're factually untrue. It's the reason why he went to the Clippers. It's because the incentives that he got to go to the Clippers. That's why. Mars, please continue. I just wanted to correct that point. That's it.
Okay, that's some absolute bullshit right there. Because
no, it's not. That's exactly what he did there.
Cook that shit, Pin. Cook him, Pin.
No.
What the Clippers gave him.
This is why I wanted to keep it to basketball.
No,
because I didn't even want to get into this, Mars.
No. Everybody.
Hold on, right quick, y'all. I just want to hear what Damian has to add to the conversation, and then Pin, please proceed.
By the way, Kawhi wasn't the only one in play for the Lakers in that offseason. The Lakers also had interest in Jimmy Butler. They also had interest in Kyrie Irving. So it wasn't just Kawhi. It was a crazy free agent period. I don't know if you guys remember, but it wasn't just Kawhi.
We do remember that.
And Magic Johnson couldn't get Kawhi in the room, by the way. And he said that as well.
Because Magic Johnson was trying to give him one of his contracts.
From what I heard at the time,
21 years, 21 million.
Kawhi had already let his Raptors teammates know that he was not coming back. That was one. So all of this stuff, he was using the threat of the Raptors and the Lakers to leverage a best offer case from the Clippers. He wanted to go to the Clippers. That's where he wanted to go. He wanted to go home. He did not want to play on LeBron's team. I believe that not wanting to join forces with LeBron James and be his side, be the sideshow to his circus, to me is one of the things that I respect the most about Kawhi. Now, as a Raptor fan, you might think I'd come up here and be salty that Kawhi left. I am not salty at all. I respect the hell out of that dude. He showed toughness. He showed grit. And for a person whose favorite players are guys like Ben Simmons and James Harden, Mars, I don't expect you to value toughness and grit. But Kawhi showed me everything. Guarding LeBron James head-to-head in 14 as a young player, not backing down from him when the gravity of that moment is immense. When it comes down to am I going to get one final ring for Greg Popovich? Am I going to get one final ring for Tim Duncan? Don't downplay it because some dude scored more. Understand the dog that you need to be to show up in that moment as a young player. Because let me tell you something. There's a guy that a lot of y'all think is a GOAT. He didn't show up in those big moments. Kawhi did. Okay. So I just feel like the Kawhi disrespect on this channel has gone way too far.
Are you talking about LeBron?
Wait,
no, hold on.
Didn't LeBron have 28 on 50?
So are we toughness does it require to lead a team to the finals at 23 years old?
Pardon?
Out of curiosity. What level of toughness does it require to lead a team to the finals at 23 years old? What level of toughness does that require?
S tier.
Real quick, because I want to say something about this.
So
about that poll, Ron. Ron, you ran a poll and it doesn't say who's the better player. It says whose career is more respectable between Kawhi and KD. And I think it's clear as day that when we talk about respect as a hooper, as just as just standing on business, this shouldn't even be a conversation.
Hold on, I understand your point there. That's a strong point. Hold on, Pen, just real quick.
Like if we talk about who's a better basketball player, I gotta respect if you say KD, no problem. And that's why I didn't really want to get too far into this. KD. Cool, no issue. But we talking about whose career, whose resume is more respected. Come on, bro.
So, Penn, who stepped up in big moments more in their career, LeBron or Kawhi?
LeBron.
By a lot?
No, not by a lot.
Okay. So, which player has had the worst performances in Game 7s? By a lot.
God, that Denver Game 7 coming back.
Oh
Both of them. Both of them. Which one? No, which one? I want a direct answer to the question. Which one?
Are you saying
the direct answer?
Well, I'm asking the question.
Because these are leading questions.
Are y'all trying to debate who's better between LeBron and
played in
Kawhi?
multiple games.
No, I'm not debating. I'm not debating. Yo, no. You're not doing this shit.
I'm asking a direct question to everyone.
We talked about showing up at 23.
Who's better between LeBron and Kawhi?
Please. Because the conversation moved. I'm not even trying to argue. I'm not even trying to argue. What happened is the conversation.
That's why I didn't want to talk about Kawhi.
Please, I'm asking for grace to just speak without being interrupted and ask the question.
Who's better between Kawhi and LeBron? This is unnecessary.
No, Locks, that's not the question, which is why if you let me speak without interrupting, I can ask the question. I'm asking because Penn said who showed up in the big moments regarding LeBron in 2014. So then now my question is, who showed up in bigger moments? And then number two, my second question is, in Game 7s, who has had the worst performances not showing up in Game 7 between LeBron and Kawhi? Because he just criticized LeBron. So between those two players, which one of them has the worst performances in Game 7s?
I
just want a direct answer to the question.
No. You are going to.
I don't get an answer.
You are not going to. Bullshit, bro. You're not going to talk over me, bro.
Y'all had to bring KD and LeBron in this just to save Steph.
I don't even understand how we got to. I don't understand how we got
to. The KD part started, just so you remember, the KD part started because Kawhi's never been the second best player on his team.
Exactly.
So that's how the KD point started. And then we had to make sure that we all on the same page, that if KD played with Kawhi would be the second best player on that team too, for damn sure. Because Kawhi is not better than Kevin Durant. That's how we got here.
Yeah.
That's how we got here. So
I'm telling you that showing up early in your career at 23, 24, 25 years old. I mean, I think Kawhi was 24 when he won Finals MVP, and he went head to head against the player you were talking about. So talk about that series. Talk about who they were at 24. Don't tell me what they did at 33, because that was never my point. If you're going to try, I am not talking about
17 points a game in that series. What was it? Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. What was
did, but he closed that series with like 3 straight 20-point games.
He did, but what was the overall numbers in that series? I'm just trying to remember. I don't remember. I'm asking in general. I don't remember.
LeBron averaged 28 on like 50% shooting, man.
Watch the series,
18, 6 and 2 was Kawhi's full numbers. But I do think that doesn't encapsulate
Patty Mills outscored.
So my next point here, Damien, is like I agree, but this is now the second time, Damien, where someone's gotten the Finals MVP for guarding LeBron. Even though LeBron was the best player in the series. So
Dwayne Wade couldn't jump over a piece of paper in 2014, man.
Dwayne Wade wasn't great. Chris Bosh wasn't good. They lost 4-1 because Tim Duncan, the rest of that roster, they manhandled the Heat. Chill. Tell me if I'm lying.
Patty Mills outscored Chris Bosh and Dwayne Wade.
They got out in that series.
Very legitimately, in 2017, we were having conversations as Kawhi Leonard, the second best player in the world after LeBron James. You are not about to gaslight the whole world and act like that wasn't happening, because it really was. It really was. Okay, so the question is not like the conversation is dancing all over the place.
The only person who could have asked if Kawhi was the second best player in the world was smoking crack. So shout out to the conversations in crack dance.
First of all, Mars,
anywhere in the real world,
you weren't even there.
No way, people
you weren't even there.
Like
I don't understand what this bullshit is. Where I literally, I am 10, 15 years into 20 years into basketball fandom at that point, plugged in every single day, listening to every single show, watching these games, and I'm getting a schooling from a dude who was like, I don't know, in primary school at the time. Are you kidding me right now?
I wasn't watching the NBA.
Congratulations, and that's the point. You're not going to tell me what conversations were happening because you
were watching the NBA.
I never denied the conversation.
Kawhi Leonard was better than
Kawhi Leonard was legitimately the best defender in the world, and one of the two best defenders in the world in 2017, and he was averaging like nearly 30.
2014, Kawhi or KD.
In 14, it was KD.
That's the new way to do drug tests. You don't need to pee in a cup.
It was KD. It was KD.
You know they on drugs.
Damon, are you 30?
It was KD. It was KD for sure in 14. In 17, that's where I think Kawhi, puts a stamp in there. And if you say KD in 17, I have no problem with that. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying in 17, Kawhi started getting these conversations and he earned those conversations. You know what I'm saying? If we talk about 14, like this we're wasting time. Like it was KD.
Facts.
I mean,
and by the way,
you're not about to tell me that I also want to
add this in here because this is
in the MVP voting.
This is getting forgotten a little bit. I also had the conversation about Kawhi Leonard having one of the greatest mid-range shooting seasons ever. He shot, I think he was 600 attempts that season, like 47% in 2017. So I'm with you, Penn. I mean, Kawhi was exceptional, but that year, I think on volume he was, but like Steph and KD were still.
Zaza had to save KD ass, chill. You seen it.
There were conversations.
All right, fellas,
right up there. There was
2 straight years top 3 MVP voting. In the conversations with the exact same players that you were talking about, Steph Curry, LeBron James, Kevin Durant, y'all want to exclude Kawhi from conversations that he was absolutely in, and you want to tell people who started watching basketball in 2021 that he wasn't there. And I'm telling you, as someone who was there,
he
was absolutely in 2016, 2017, 2018. Kawhi Leonard was in conversations for the second best player in the world. Absolutely.
Ain't no one argued 2017. Ain't no one argued that. You said
no, we can't. It's crazy though. It's crazy, chill, because you're the main one who has gone to war with the whole chat. You've gone to war with the whole internet. Right, and I've been right next to you when you're the one saying that in that year when Steph got unanimous MVP, that you made arguments for Kawhi Leonard, and so now for you to sit here and be zip-lipped, acting like you aren't an advocate for those years of Kawhi Leonard, pretending and saying like Kawhi Leonard doesn't deserve to be in these conversations, not having Kawhi's back, letting Mars yap over Penn, letting Swiper jump in and muddy up the waters, when you agree with us that Kawhi Leonard absolutely belong to those conversations, and you never once brought up Kevin Durant. It was Steph Curry, and you bring up Kawhi Leonard, but now you want to try to jump over on this side, chill. I never thought you was a fence jumper. This is ridiculous.
So now everything that he's wait, don't you're not cutting me off like you did yesterday.
You better shut your mouth.
Unzip your lips.
Mute your microphone, Ron.
Would you like to unzip your lips?
Absolutely. Okay, so
you don't want to back us up right now, chill.
Stop right there.
You don't want to back us up.
I'm not going to back you up. And the reason why I'm
stand up, chill.
The reason why I'm not going to...
We don't never sit down. Stand up.
The reason why I'm not going to back you up on this is because of what you just said. That I thought Kawhi Leonard should have had a league MVP vote during that time. Okay, that doesn't mean he was better than KD. Just because I thought that he should have been the league MVP, or just because I thought that he had a conversation in league MVP votes. Just like Steve Nash wasn't better than Kobe Bryant in 2006, even though he won the league MVP. This conversation was about who is the better player, and KD was better than Kawhi Leonard. Period.
What was he better?
Even though everything that he did
in 2017 to 2019, yes, it was a conversation. Yes, it was a conversation.
Defensive player of the year, averaging 27 points per game, and you're telling me there were more than 2 players better than that.
I'm disgusted.
Kawhi never averaged 27.
It was 24. It was 24. That's close.
No, when Kawhi won DPOY, it was 2015 and 2016.
What Penn is doing?
He averaged 16 in one year and 21 the other year. Kawhi Leonard never came close to averaging 27.
I never said that.
He's averaging 27 now. Mark, you got it mixed up.
He was
averaging 27 now.
Player in the world. I never said that. But you know who else was in that
Kawhi's
conversation?
2 DPOY years, he averaged 19.
He was also in that conversation.
That's what he did.
KD was in that conversation.
Yes, he was. Yep.
For being the best player in the world.
He was.
Yes,
Chill,
he was.
yep.
And you know why he was in that conversation for being the best player in the world? Because he was winning NBA championships. And he was winning the Finals MVP, which you brought up, by the way. You brought up who has more Finals MVPs between Steph Curry and Kawhi Leonard. That's why he was higher than him.
Brought that up.
So don't leave that out. And on top of that, Ox, you got some nerd talking to me when you talk about matchups. When I watched Kawhi Leonard put 40, I watched Kevin Durant put 47 on him before we even get to the NBA Finals, and he scorched his ass. Before that, when we talking about that. So in 2019, before we get to the NBA championship, he puts 47 on him in Toronto. 47 points on him in Toronto in front of the whole world. And then we get to the NBA championship and not one person is watching Kevin Durant. Not one person is getting on the floor in Toronto. Not one person is watching Kevin Durant in those 11 or 12 minutes that he played and watching him and watching Kawhi Leonard going, that dude better than that dude. Ain't nobody saying that.
Okay, we spoke about that already. Yeah, that happens. You get buckets. We talking about Kevin Durant. Yeah, that happened. But we also talking about this matchups where Kawhi got the better of him too. That's all I'm saying. Yes, I think they have both got at each other. I think Kawhi has got at Kevin Durant, just like Kevin Durant has got at Kawhi Leonard. That was the point I was bringing up.
This is a ridiculous.
And on top of that, on top of that, I haven't really brought up anything in this conversation. I've been more so just rebuttaling. I've been more so just going along with the ride. I didn't want to get into the Kawhi Steph situation, Chill. You made me get in that. You kick this off and put your hands in your pockets. And that's all I'm saying. I refuse to sit here and watch you swing on me, swing on Penn, and then put your hands in your pockets like you didn't have Kawhi back in those times, and then just let Mars come up here and just ramble. Did Mars beat you in the submission yesterday? Now you can't go against Mars now because this is absolute BS, complete BS. Chill.
Really quick thing.
I expect more from you.
Really good point. Okay, so Mars brought up that he didn't really have huge scoring seasons when he was winning Defensive Player of the Year. I just want to bring up one thing. Yes, he's a 2-time Defensive Player of the Year, and he did not have this greatest scoring season when he did that. However, there is a single season, and the one that we've been talking about a lot, which is 2016, 2017. In that year, Kawhi averaged 25 points, 5 points per game, when his team was averaging 105. This is very important, which means that he accounted for 25% of his team's points, 24.8, because I'm sure, or 24.2, because I'm sure Swipe is going to check me on that. 24.2% of your team's points. Now, you know what's really impressive about that? He only played 33 minutes a game that year. You know what else is really impressive about that? He was third in Defensive Player of the Year voting. If you don't think a guy who averages 39 points per 100 possessions on a championship contender that wins over 60 games and finishes third in Defensive Player of the Year voting was the second best player in the league that year, then you know what? I don't think you know what you're fucking talking about. Golf clap your ass off.
Mic drop.
Golf clap your ass off the stage. Yes, it is relevant because Kevin Durant, in all of his greatness, has never been that level of defender.
Keep going, Penn.
Never been that level of defender. The level of efficiency that Kawhi showed that year, and he did not play. He did not play with a future MVP on that team. He was carrying an aging roster.
That fake ass defense KD was playing, getting carried by Andre
Iguodala and
Draymond. Kevin Durant playing no defense.
Kevin Durant, for all the respect,
I'm like,
by the way, in 2017,
this dude beat me into
Durant
submission
was
because I don't just talk just to hear myself talk. I actually have something to say. So when Kevin Durant averaged 30 a game that year for Oklahoma City in 2012, and I think that accounted for almost a third of their points. A third of their points. So when I'm averaging almost a third of our points, how much more valuable is that? Because last I checked, when you play basketball, the team who scores the most points wins. And what we do up here is we stop valuing how much points matter. KD was one of the best, if not the best, bucket getter in the game. Kawhi Leonard, 100%, was arguably the best defensive player in the game. When we're talking about for 4 straight years, Kevin Durant was the best bucket getter in the game. How much more valuable is that? How much more?
I think Kevin Durant's better than
at those times.
And that's all this was about. KD
at those times. Hold on, can I just say this?
I said that already.
Go ahead, Damien. Go ahead.
LeBron was considered the best overall player. Kawhi Leonard was considered the best two-way player. And Kevin Durant was considered the best individual scorer in the world. Correct. Now, Kawhi Leonard was in those conversations, though. in 2017 to 2019, yes, there was conversations about Kawhi Leonard being the best in the world. Whether it was true that he was better than Kevin Durant at that time, it's up for debate. It remains to be seen. But that was the consensus at that time. Like whoever lived through that time, yes, there was a period between 2017 and 2019 where Kawhi Leonard was considered right up there.
I don't think that
and whatever order you wanted to have.
I think everyone's agreed on that. Kawhi was a top 5 player on the planet.
What Ox is trying to do, Ox is trying to
that's
make
what
me
was
sound.
happening.
Ox is trying to make me sound
second
like
best player
because
was
I don't think
LaMarcus Aldridge.
I don't think that Kevin Durant.
Yeah,
I don't
but that's
think
not the
Kawhi
way the
Leonard-
Spurs were structured, so I don't want to be unfair to the
was better
Spurs.
than Kevin Durant. So because I don't think that Kawhi Leonard was better than Kevin Durant,
Spurs weren't
I
elite
ain't taking
basketball
up for
team.
him. That's not the case at all. He still was in top 5 talks. He still was in best player of the world talks. He still was up there with those upper echelon guys. He just wasn't better than KD. That's it.
That's fine. That's fine. Chill. All I'm saying, chill, is that real quick though, Penn. All I'm saying though is that when Penn brought up 17, when I brought up 17, and there was just so much pushback on this and that. Oh, well, before that, all he did was guard LeBron, and he was 50% shooting, all this and that. And I'm just sitting here waiting for chill. I'm just waiting for you to say, well, no, Kawhi Leonard absolutely belongs in these conversations because I've heard you go on this for a week and fight for your life against the chat, and I was right there with you. I'm trying to figure out, well, when is this going to happen? Because y'all seem to forget what was happening in 2017. Y'all seem to forget that there was one best defender in the world in Kawhi Leonard, who was also averaging 22.5 points that season as well.
It was 25. It was
25. Okay, my bad. Who was the best defender in the NBA by far, hands down, no conversation. I don't want to hear about Draymond Green. He was the best. Okay, whatever.
You don't want to hear about Draymond.
He was still okay. Y'all could talk about the fuck it. Talk about Draymond. Kawhi was still the best defender in the NBA. Averaged 25 on 50, 40, 90, and his team won 67 games that year. I don't see why would you just sit there and be quiet and y'all going? What'd you say?
Okay, average 50, 40, 90. Those two things aren't the same thing. Average 50, 40, 90 and being the best defender. That's overall being the best player. That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about being the best defender. And on top of that, I was talking about.
You just said that's the best player.
Okay, no. That's why he was in the conversation for best player in the league.
Okay, then act like it. If you're gonna say it now, that's what I'm saying. Y'all act like it. Put some respect on 2017 Kawhi Leonard.
That's not what the conversation was about. This conversation started about him being better than Kevin Durant. Period. I didn't get involved in that. Because that goes without saying. Everybody knew that Kawhi Leonard was at minimum a top 5 player during that time. At minimum, he was.
That's not how that was acting up here.
I don't have to act like that because that goes without saying.
When swiping Morris up here trying to curb stomp Penn for no reason.
I never denied that Kawhi Leonard was a top 5 player for 2017.
Swiping Morris up here trying to curb stomp Penn for telling the truth. When Zaza Pachulia had to save their
Don't put me in the conversation.
You put yourself in the conversation.
Lie on my name.
You put yourself in the conversation. Y'all out here trying to stomp Penn out for no reason.
That's not what I said.
He
actually.
said Kawhi was his second best player in World Talks in 2014.
He was.
That's what
that's a little crazy.
2014, he was not.
The video is here.
That's a little crazy.
Not at all. What are you crazy? In 2014,
you could rewind in 20 minutes because that's what you said. That's why I started reacting the way I did. Maybe you misspoke. You know what? I'm not even going to hold you to that statement. But you absolutely said that. That's why you got the reaction.
Were we really just having a conversation about Kawhi Leonard being the best player, second best player in the league in 2014?
That's what he said, but he's saying he missed.
I just want to make sure. That I'm following.
I'm doing this shit.
I just want to
put words in my mouth. You're not going to
I don't want to put words in
your mouth.
I don't pen.
Every time that's what you're saying.
Wait, Pen, stay right there. So to clarify, right? To clarify, get Penn back up here. I want to talk to Penn and Penn alone. Because I don't want Penn to be misunderstood. I don't want Penn to be misunderstood. I don't want Penn to be anything other than clear. Penn, do you think? And what did you say exactly about Kawhi Leonard in 2014, sir?
That he was a Finals MVP.
Okay, that's it. Nothing else. That doesn't put him in.
That he showed up in a really big way as a young player. I didn't think he was the second best player in 2014. And just so we're clear, Kevin Durant was my favorite player from 2007 till 2020. Right. Favorite player in the league. I fought against KD versus LeBron talks out. I always wanted to put KD in that situation. I would never say that. If I said it, if I said it, I have misspoken, but I don't think that I would ever say that. And I've never, ever meant that. In 2017, however, 100% Kevin Durant was in those conversations. When I specifically was speaking to Mars, I said, you weren't even watching basketball in 2017. That's what I was saying to Mars. I was like, you weren't there. I deliberately said, I was like 20 years into my NBA fandom at that point. You weren't even there. Don't tell me what conversations were happening in 2017. Now, if I accidentally said 2014 in that moment, that is not the intention of what I was saying. And every time I have brought up stats, they have always been with 2016 and 2017 in mind. And I'm sorry, I'm a little bit frustrated with this conversation because I have spoken many times and I have been able to get one sentence off very many times.
That's why we're here right now.
Until we're here
right now,
without Swiper saying some underhanded shit underneath.
Nope, that's why we
here.
No. Yeah. Look at him, Pin. Yeah.
Ron, stop. I'm so tired of you lying.
Yeah.
Bro, I'm so sick of this, bro. Watch out, Ron. I'm so tired of you lying. I have not said a word except for one segment today to bring up a point about Kawhi.
Words right now, you liar.
And then on top of that, you hush, liar. I even brought up supporting references to what I've said about Kawhi in 2017, that he had the best mid-range season of his career, and in 2017 that season to argue his place in the league. So no, don't you get up here and just start complaining and yapping and
where's
crying.
the lie? Where's the lie? Where's the lie?
You said I was a liar.
Where's the lie?
I brought up one thing. I brought up one thing in the middle of the entire segment to talk about Penn. Hush up. I brought up one thing in the entire segment to talk about this discussion, and then I went on mute. So stop lying and complaining.
You are Karen.
I'm a what?
You heard what I said. You're Karen.
Hey, look, because here's the thing. If I start going, Penn,
what did he lie
about? You're gonna get emotional. If I start going, you're gonna get emotional. I know how this works. This is gonna go the same way it always goes.
Well, I'm gonna call the cops. I'm gonna call the cops. Yo, Karen, tell me what I lied about.
I have no reason to call the cops.
Okay,
but here's the thing.
But
if I start going, Penn, you're gonna get emotional. Like you're gonna get emotional and you're gonna start feeling bad. But this is I'm not gonna do it though. I was having a I was having a basketball discussion.
What?
And I said what I said about basketball. Penn said that I started to cut him off, which is not what happened. Because Ron can even attest to this. I asked for a moment between Ox and Penn. I asked for a moment between Ox and Penn to get my points off. Penn then started talking. Oxton started interrupting, and then Ron had to clear it out just so I can say what I wanted to say about why Kawhi went to the Clippers and didn't go to the Lakers. And then I stopped. And then I brought up Kawhi's mid-range shooting in 2017. That's why this happened. I didn't bring up anything other than that. And then I got out the conversation to Penn. You getting on this little thing where you like to, when you start getting cooked and you start losing conversation, bring my name up. That doesn't make any sense to me. The chat knows everybody calling you emotional because you're overreacting once again. And you calling me a Karen because I didn't do anything and you bringing my name up. So all I'm saying is
you make sure and said I lied
going forward.
And then lied.
But if you keep getting cooked on basketball talk, which you repeatedly do, don't bring me up as a substitute for why Mars and other people are getting at you. I just told you what it was. And I'll go on mute. Damien, I'm going on mute. I'm done. Just you keep calling me a Karen, I'm gonna start throwing some names around and you will start feeling bad.
Yeah,
so you have averaged
Pin.
But you haven't answered my question.
We've drifted so far from what we started. We was talking.
Pin. Swiper's not going to answer your question. He is the master magician of that because Karens don't answer questions. However, Mars has a question.
All right.
So, Mars, you asked your question. Manny, I want to hear your recap on this whole thing. Whether it's 2 words, whether it's 2 minutes, whatever. I haven't heard your take on this whole KD Kawhi. It started with KD and Steph, or Kawhi and Steph. But, however, Mars, what is your question?
Oh, it's definitely not a question. It's I was wrong. Penn said 2017. My bad. Yeah, see, I'm grown enough to admit I was wrong.
Thank you.
I definitely misheard, so that's on me. My fault. Kawhi was definitely in top 5 player in the world talks, second best player in the world talks. Absolutely in 2017. I was wrong. I misheard. I appreciate
you, Mars.
I still stand on everything else I said, but the crack them part.
Swiper, can you apologize?
That part was wrong. My bad. My apologies.
Hey, I would like. Let me apologize to this, Penn. I am so sorry. I am so sorry that you are so sensitive and that you continue to throw shade at me when I didn't throw any at you for the last several months. And I'm telling you, if you keep going, it's going to get bad for you. And again, I am literally only talking about basketball. I've only been talking about basketball. I'm keeping it on basketball. I'm not going to bring up anything else. Purely about basketball. That's all I'm saying. I'm keeping it basketball. I'm going to keep basketball because everybody knows if I start going, it's going to start getting nasty. But I'm not going to. Nobody
knows
that. You're going to get pin hit. You're going to get pin hit by talking. I'm just saying. I'm going on mute. I'm going on mute.
Pin.
Oh, Smite was so scared.
Hold on, Pin. Your
mic changed. Your mic changed.
I think Swiper with that uppercut he hit you. I think he rearranged your mic setting.
It's because you muted me. Okay, I just want to say one thing real quick. I promise I'm not going to make this about me or whatever, but I really got to address this because it's really starting to bother me right now. I have asked you one question about 30 times in the last 2-3 minutes, and which is you came up here and said I lied. And I asked you, where did I lie? Because I don't appreciate being called a liar by a liar. That's very annoying to me. Now, I'm wait. Before you ask the question, where did I?
Penn, I asked you a question an hour ago that you refused to answer regarding LeBron James and Kawhi Leonard in Game 7s, and you refused to answer. So I'm doing the same thing you did at that moment, in which you talked over me and didn't answer the question. It's the same exact treatment. Just to be clear.
It's not the same exact treatment because you are hurling an accusation at somebody on the internet, and I want to know where I lied. So let me clarify something. You just came up here and you said that you haven't said, you came up and said, well, I haven't said anything. First of all, I didn't say anything negative about you. I just said occasionally I get distracted because you talk sometimes underneath what I'm saying. So I was explaining to Chill, it was a two-way conversation before you butted into it, that maybe if I misspoke, it is because I'm hearing voices underneath my voice, and I'm trying to just make sure that my voice is not getting drowned out. Okay. So that was the first thing. The second thing is you came up immediately and said you've only spoken in one segment when you have actually spoken in at least 4, maybe 5. So that's the second lie. The third thing you just said is for the last couple of months, you haven't said anything negative towards me. Am I crazy, or did you not just draw me on a whiteboard and say this is Penn at 45 and tried to gaslight everybody into saying that I was some asshole to talk about Real Talk's weight when you talked about Real Talk's weight in that episode? Literally 2 hours before I did. So
shout out Real Talk's weight.
I know that you want to. I know, and you get up here and you start saying like, well, if I start going, you're going to get emotional and all this stuff, and you want to.
This is your conscience speaking, telling you to move on.
See, again, you want to play the comedian, but
just move on.
Why don't you just play the role that you actually born to play, which is the absolute asshole?
You can move on.
That's what you are.
We don't have to stay.
Here's
here.
what I want to challenge both of you guys to do. In all seriousness.
Mm-hmm.
Swiper, apologize to Penn for calling him a liar. Penn, apologize to Swiper for calling him a Karen. And I
apologize
think that
for calling you a Karen.
Swiper?
What am I apologizing for?
For calling him a liar.
God, damn, this ain't hard, man. Manny, you got a point, Manny. I was waiting for Manny.
I was having fun talking about KD and Kawhi, man.
That's where I was going. I'm like, it started even before that. Steph, Kawhi, specific finals, like games, finals series, like what happened in the finals. That was cool. Like, and then we brought in KD, Kawhi, which was like, okay, all right, now we doing this, the KD, Kawhi in the finals. Then we started going all the way back to the career of 2014, and not saying anybody said anything that was outlandish or whatever, but we started going to 2017, comparing the different finals and all of these, and 2022 from Steph MVP. We kind of jumped a little bit everywhere, which was very, very entertaining for me. But it was just a bunch of sub conversations, and we got so far away from the main point of the finals between Steph and Kawhi, who was better in that series or in these particular series of their finals appearances. But the only thing I was like thinking through a lot of this time, and I wanted to let y'all cook because it was entertaining for me too. But we compared the finals, and then we started drifting off topic of everything else. And this is not to start another conversation about anything, but I thought it was, instead of just comparing the absolute appearances in the finals, since we got off topic and went through the regular season of what this guy did and what he averaged when he was a defensive player of the year candidate and the MVP candidate, I think it was only fair that we talk about the road to the finals too, since we were talking about this guy got in the finals and he did this, or he got this more MVPs, or when he did this in this great regular season, the road to the finals. There's a lot of matchups where some people didn't have good games through the course of the playoffs, but it was funny. I loved the conversation. But that was my only thing, is I was just thinking about some of the road to the finals. And as we started comparing these players and teams, it's a lot of things that go into it.
Is Curry being better than Kawhi Leonard based solely on them playing in the NBA championship? Is their body of work comparable?
In terms of just the championship?
That's what I'm talking about. No, because I don't do that. Because when you say Steph over Kawhi Leonard, what are we basing that on? He a better player than him. He got a better career than him. Was he better in the playoffs than him? What are we doing when we're talking about these two?
That's all of the above.
We were missing
because I don't think Kawhi Leonard's resume. I don't think his resume stacks up with Steph Curry's. I don't think he did it long enough. I don't think he has bigger enough moments than Curry.
If that was the argument of the moments and the accomplishments that each of these players had, whether it's KD, Steph, Kawhi, KD, or Steph, if we were comparing accomplishments, then that's one thing. Then the conversation goes one specific way. But if we start comparing specifically skill and abilities that these guys can do, then the conversation can go another way. Correct. So we didn't have the premise. We started comparing Hellcats and these
Chargers.
We started comparing Hellcats and Chargers, and we just we never established what that right. base was. So it kind of went everywhere.
Because if you're telling me that Kawhi Leonard and Steph Curry, I think Steph Curry is arguably a top 10 player, definitely a top 15 player. If you're telling me that he in a conversation with Kawhi Leonard, that has to mean, to me specifically, that Kawhi Leonard is arguably a top 10 player, definitely a top 15 player of all time.
Absolutely. Yeah, arguably the best player. If he's in that conversation with Steph, LeBron, and KD, you could argue any one of them is the best out of all of them. So it's hard to compare, especially when we didn't have a base of, are we talking accomplishments? Are we talking NBA finals? Are we talking overall impact to a team? Because some of these guys went to go play for multiple teams.
Not Curry. Curry been where he's been, and Curry has done what he's done for the course of his career. And I'm on record saying this, and Ox hates it, but I'm on record saying it. KD needed Curry more than Curry needed KD to get to where he was trying to get to. And I think that matters. I 100% think that matters. And I also
I ain't mad at it. Didn't Jerry West give Kobe some very early stability in his career, give Steph early stability in his career? Having a general manager who generally knows what they're doing, I think that helps. And I feel like when we remove the conversation of coaching, teammates, roster structure, organizational stability, market size, we kind of start to ignore the fact that some guys maybe have to leave their initial situation. We can't all just I could be a great player. I can't draft players for you. I can't do all your jobs for you. I can't bring roster stability for you. I can't help it if I have a general manager who's very trigger happy or an owner who's very cheap, right? Joel Embiid right now is complaining about, his team don't want to go into the tax. He can't control what Daryl Morey's doing, right? So, shout out to LeBron for, taking that role and maybe pioneering this idea of players trying to control their destination and try to control their teams a little bit. And I think some players are taking that role as well. But that being said, Steph Curry's stability, if they trade him, they were thinking about trading him early in his career. They thought about it. They explored it, right? There were some conversations around, is it him or is it Montes? So, what happens if he gets traded? Now, we're not talking about Golden State. We're not talking about Draymond. He had a great situation. I believe Steph Curry is a top 10 player. 100%. He deserves a lot of credit for what happened with him. I believe that Kawhi Leonard was blessed to be drafted by the San Antonio Spurs and have that beautiful structure to learn from. But also, I believe LeBron going to Cleveland and having an organization that didn't really know what they were doing around him, that shouldn't be held against him. So, if you can't hold one thing against the guy, you can't give him all the credit for having the roster stability that he's.
But I think we're talking about two different things, though. We're talking about we're sticking with Curry and we're sticking with Leonard, right? And
okay.
let's be clear about what was going on in Golden State. Let's not make it sound like Golden State is the model of stability, because they weren't. There's a reason why they got Harrison Barnes in the draft. They were garbage. There's a reason why they got Klay Thompson in the draft, because they were garbage. There's a reason why they got Steph Curry in the draft, because they were garbage. The San Antonio Spurs actually were the model of consistency. They were the model of stability, and they ended up trading for Leonard and developing him into an awesome player because of their system. We didn't really know who Steph Curry was going to be. Not only did we not know who he was going to be, considering that they were building this unit around both him and Klay Thompson when they got off of Monte Ellis. With Kawhi Leonard, am I more apt to believe that Kawhi Leonard could turn into a more awesome player in San Antonio than in Golden State? Yes, because of the history that they have, because of the stability that they have, and because of the general managing, and because of all of that stuff that they've been doing there, as opposed to what was going on. Don't forget, Penn, before Steph Curry and the Golden State Warriors in 2012, 2013, when they won that playoff series, that was the second playoff series that they had won after 2007 in 23 years. That was a garbage franchise. They weren't doing anything. Meanwhile, the San Antonio Spurs, every year for the last 15 years, there was stability there. So when you're talking about Steph Curry in terms of the model of consistency, that definitely was going on in San Antonio with Kawhi Leonard.
It's the panel. Religion get built on cam. Where the chat throw smoke and the host go ham. You ain't never seen hoops all hit the raw. Every take got weight, every night we drop. This that barbershop. Courtside, worldwide tone. Welcome to the only show that really feel like numbers jumping like the score.